Hello everyone. So this is a session on artificial intelligence, and we'll be having the introduction to AI Generative Studio. Okay. So let everyone join us, and then we'll begin the session. And also at the end of this session, I'll guide you how you can apply for certification of this particular course, and how you'll have to give the quizzes, and how you can. I will show you my dashboard so that you get better understanding of it. Okay. So just wait for 2 to 3 minutes and we will start the session. Okay. Okay, so now we will start the session. Okay. So let me share my screen with you. So I think my screen is visible with you and my sound is also audible. So we'll start now the session. So in our today's lecture, we'll have a very brief introduction to the generative AI, because we are living in the world of artificial intelligence, and everybody should have the basic understanding of this particular AI. Okay, because whatever you are working, you are seeing the thumbnails, you are seeing the, you can say, the new creations, or you can say your imagination. These all are now possible, that you say that I am you want to imagine this particular, and this particular AI will help you to imagine this. And also the thumbnails which you are seeing on the videos, or any you can say any video which you are seeing, the thumbnails that are also created by you can say the chat GPT, which is in form of AI. Okay, we have different forms. We have chat GPT, we have Copilot, we have a Gemini, and many things. Okay, so we'll be discussing today about the overall generative AI. Okay, this is an introduction to the generative AI, and in this particular we will discuss that, as we have studied. If you have studied, then fine. Otherwise, I'll plan for these sessions also in the future, about the basic machine languages which we have studied: C, C++, Java, and we have the Python, and some more. You can say very much machine languages. But this particular AI, this particular generative AI, is quite different from what you have already studied. The terminologies will also change. There you will be discussing about the input, processing, the output. Here the terminologies will differ. Okay, so that we will be discussing here. Okay, so let's start. This is the brief lecture, and everybody can attend this lecture. Anyone who wants to be a little updated. Okay, and for the certification, as I already discussed, we will guide you in the last of the session. Okay. So first of all, what is AI? So AI is actually artificial intelligence. So first of all, it is in computer system, okay, that can be smart in the way similar to humans, intelligence, agents known as abilities. Okay, so simply in the very simpler terms, I could say that AI is artificial intelligence. What does it mean? That obviously the capability of human to think through their supercomputer, that is brain, is quite, you can say, bigger than the, if I compare to the AI. Because what AI does, it just you can say uses the massive information which are available on internet. Okay, so AI gives you a comfort. AI gives you a comfort that you are not supposed to search or get the information. You just say the AI will search it, AI will use the whole mechanism will be there that we'll be discussing also, and then it will provide you with the knowledge whatever you want. Okay, so that gives us the comfort of searching, and that particular is very, you can say it's very helpful by the AI. So it can solve problems, it can think, okay, it can think, it can solve problems. Okay, you can improve your knowledge from this. It also improves its own knowledge and skills from the experiences. Sometimes AI also act as stupid, so when we will say that don't act like this, or we just correct the AI, even AI is not always correct. Even AI is also made to make the mistake, because it is also a learning system, machine language. So we just say that this is not the correct. As we will search, as I searched some day ago, that if you will search for any examination, that pattern, okay, and suppose I'm talking about joint entrance examination. So earlierly it had pattern of 90 questions and 3 hours, and now it changed to from 2025, more or less, yeah, 2025 it changed from 90 to 75 questions. But when you will write that explain me the pattern of joint entrance examination, then it will tell you 90 questions. Then you correct that not really the pattern has changed now to 75 questions, then it will explain you in that way. So you can say the sometimes it also picks wrong information or the old information actually, because AI is also, you can say, and machine language, it is also learning in its learning phase. So it is bound to make mistakes, so that we can correct also, because we are humans, we have the more intelligence than it. Okay, now, what is the difference between AI and ML? So that we'll be discussing also. But first of all, you must understand that what AI does. So AI, the in simpler term, I would say, generative AI actually generate contents for us on the you can say available information, whatever available information are there, uh, that it used uses to give us the particular output whatever we want. Okay, so it just generate contents. It will include text, it will include images, visuals for us. Okay, so AI is a discipline, and machine language is a subfield of AI. So actually AI is a, you can say, set, and ML is its subfield, or you say subset. In terms of mathematical terms, in abstract terms, we can say that AI is a set and ML is its subset. Okay, so that's the thing, that AI is a discipline and machine learning is a subfield of it. So that's the thing here that we are discussing. Okay, so who uses this particular your generative AI? So mainly the app developers or the data scientists, they use this particular generative AI for their work, and it is quite useful also, and it makes our work easier. Even sometimes, if you want to just, I have tried once, not once, many times only. That suppose there is a certain topic which you have studied, and you want to know that at what level you are proficient in it. So to check that level of proficiency, you can use AI. How? There is a tool that is voice note. Okay, so you can speak, then it will capture your voice and it will convert it into text, and then that text goes to the AI, and then AI interpret it and guide you that what's your level of understanding for that particular concept. So that's also the use where we convert the where there is a conversion from the speech to text, and the voice versa is also possible. Okay, so that's the thing here, and as I discussed with you, that it is used by app developers and the data scientists. Again, if I'm discussing with you this generative AI, some of the more important things which we should discuss here. First of all, this is a point, it is a discipline, do with the theories and methods to build machines and think and act like a human. Okay. Machine learning is a subfield of AI, it is more explained here. It trains a model from input data and gives computer ability to learn without explicit programming. Okay. So without making any explicit programming, it just we don't need to have the very much expertise of coding for understanding this generative AI mainly. So most common classification of ML models, which we will not be discussing more in detail because we are on the topic of generative AI, not ML. Okay. So supervised machine learning trained on labeled data, and unsupervised, which is trained on unlabeled data. Deep learning uses artificial neural networks to process more complex pattern than the traditional machine learning. Okay, so that's it. So we'll not discuss more on this particular. We will directly go to our topic, that is your AI, generative AI. So, actually, when you are discussing the generative AI, so generative AI, the output, the possible outputs are the natural language. If you talk in English, it will respond to you in English. Images, audios, or what I discussed, that text to speech and speech to text, that is also possible. Now, one more thing. Here will be different. You can say a different terminology. That is your. We have discussed input, process, output in our. You can say basics of uh, machine learning, or you can say the basics of programming. That is input which we give, and then it processes, and then it gives us output. But here the input, this input word changes to a word called as prompt, a more fancy word for generative AI. So this input changes to prompt. So this is both mean the same. It is also the input. It is the same, but just the wording changes here. That is called as prompt. Okay. So input changes to this prompt. Now there are two terms here, which most of you will confuse, or those who have studied may have confused. That is prompt and prompt design. So what is prompt and what is prompt design? So just understand that prompt is simply an input which you give to the AI. Whatever input, whatever command you are giving, that is prompt simply. But the procedure, when it takes the prompt, it takes the input, then it processes on the basis, or you can say on the available information, whatever information that are available, it uses that information and processes the your command, and then it gives the output. This whole process is called prompt design. So you have to design the prompt, you have to design the input. The more better you design the input, the more better, more accurate, more predictable output you will have. Okay, so that's the thing here, that the difference between the prompt and prompt design. That prompt is the input which you give to the system, to the machine learning or machine language, or to the AI. Here we are discussing AI, so AI. So whatever input you are giving to the AI, that is prompt. But the process from this input to the out to getting the output, this whole process is called prompt design, because you are giving the input, then it is processing it on the basis of the available information, and then it is giving you the output. So if you want the output should be more predictable, less random, then there are some ways which we can use to achieve at that extent, or you can say to achieve the accuracy at that extent. So to achieve that accuracy, we will use some of the way. First is the designing. First is the designing of prompt. If you will not design the prompt in the correct way, then it will not work. You have to design the prompt. The more better you design, the more better output you can expect. That's the thing here. Okay. Now, next thing we will be discussing here. Okay, there is also one more thing. Not generative AI. If it is not generative AI, you can check by the output is number, discrete. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. Just 1 minute. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So again, sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So let's come back to the topic. So we prompt design. Okay. So if it is not a generative AI, then the output will be a number, discrete, class, probability. That's the okay. So what is generative AI that we are going to discuss? So again, the definition is given here that we have discussed that it is type of artificial intelligence technology that use AIT that can produce, that can give us output as various type of contents, text, imagery, or here it will include the thumbnail also, audio, synthetic data. Okay. So this is the, you can say here, discussion. Okay. Now generative AI, again there are more, you can say here the more wordings are there that we'll be discussing. So it is a type of AI that create contents, new content based on what it has learned from the existing content. So what actually happen here, I will take a break and I'll explain you. So what happens actually, whatever inputs that are with the system, whatever input that are with the AI, that can be text, that can be the visuals, that can be the speeches, or that can be any thing. Okay, it there is a process of training. Okay, that is by that text images available that it trains. Its whole mechanism is the training first. Then that training, after the training, the model is formed, that is called foundation model. So actually using the text, imagery, images, whatever you say, it trains itself. Then there is a formation of foundation model, and now this particular foundation model can be used to solve the general problems or whatever it is required. So the process is like this, that before I discuss the prompt and then the output and the processing, that's the traditional way. But here there is a more important or more fundamental is the formation of foundation model. So actually there is an your what you say, what we're discussing. But okay, yeah. So text, images, and speeches, whatever is there with the AI, then it train itself, and then the foundation model is been created, and that foundation model is the raw model. And now this particular raw model can be made efficient if it is used to solve the general problems or whatever is being asked by the user. Okay, so this process, the process of learning from the existing content, is called training. That is not a special thing. That what is training? Training is normally whatever you study, you say that I'm going for training, means you are going to learn something. So the process of learning from the existing content is called training here, and this training here uh, is from the existing content, and this results in the creation of a statistical model that is called foundation model. Okay. Now, when given a prompt, Gen AI uses this statistical model. As I discussed, the prompt model, the foundation model is used, and now this foundation model can be used to solve the general problems and to predict what an expected response might be, and this generates new content. So this is the process. So again, I am discussing with you whatever text, visuals, music, or whatever is there with the AI, which is available. See, AI can't do anything which is not available. It just uses the information which are available. So it is artificial intelligence. It is not natural intelligence. It is artificial intelligence because it uses the content which is already available on the internet, on the cloud. Whatever available is there, then it uses it, and then there is a formation, there is a process of training, then it forms a model that is called a statistical model or the foundation model, and then that foundation model can be used to solve the general problems and whatever required. Okay, so that's the whole mechanism of generative AI. Fine. So we have generative language model also. So it is a generative language model. Learn about patterns in language through training data. So it is the just you can say a distinction from here is the language, and then we have the music. Sorry, images. So the generative language model, it learns about patterns in language through training data. Then give some text. They predict what comes next. So using the knowledge here, the you can say training is through the language. In image, a generative image model, this produces new images using the technique called diffusion. So the technique is very beautiful, that is diffusion. So what actually happens here, that you will say that I want to imagine this, then it will use the you can say available information, whatever images are available, then it will diffuse the images to give you better content. So to give the better content, the diffusion of the image happens, and then that gives you the big, like you can see In my lecture also, the thumbnails which are prepared, that is also by ChatGPT. So that is, you can say, the way it, the what should be the background, what should be the, you can say, content written, what should make it attractive. The main agenda is to make it attractive. If it is not attractive, then that's not, you can say, uh, liked by many people. So that is, to make it attractive, that generative image models here works for the thumbnails. So they then given a prompt or related imagery, they transform the random noises into images or generate images from the prompt. Whatever prompt you are giving, whatever inputs you are giving, it generates image from that. Understood? Now, type of generative AI based on input. So we will be discussing this. So one thing, before we go further and discuss, let's have a quick discussion on prompt, because prompt is a very important thing here. Okay, before we discuss the types of generative AI based on input, we should discuss the what is actually the types of prompt. So listen, there are mainly three types of prompt. Okay, zero shot prompt, one shot prompt, and few shot prompt. Whenever you are giving any input, any prompt to the AI, and you are not providing an example, that you are just saying that you have to do this particular task, just, you are not providing any example, you are not providing any path, that you have to go by this path, or you have to, you have to answer in this way. You are not giving, you are just giving the prompt, a single prompt, single command. That is zero shot prompt. Fine. Second comes first or one shot prompt. In one shot prompt, you follow the same procedure that is in zero shot prompt, just you give one example, that you have to behave in this way. That if I'm asking this particular question, or suppose uh, I'm giving a paragraph, I gave the paragraph to the AI, a big paragraph, and in an example, I gave that, first the question and the answer. What is ML? And the answer is, ML stands for machine learning. Okay, this is the example. This is one shot prompt. I'm giving one example to it. That, what does ML stands for? And the answer I gave, ML stands for machine learning. Machine learning. So it behave in this way. Now when I will ask, now this is the input I gave. Now when I'll ask that give me the answer, what does, from using the paragraph, what does LLM stands for? Then what it will give? LLM stands for large language model. So I just help the AI, or I just uh, guided the AI that you have to behave in this way. Now it will behave in that way, in the way you guided through the example. Okay. So in the one shot prompt, you give one example. You give the prompt, you give the command as you give in the zero shot prompt, but just you add one example to get the better desired output. Okay. To get more desired output, the more more example you will give, more better output you can expect. Third one, few short prompt, greater than one example. You have to give two. You can give two examples. You can give three. You can give four short prompt. Okay. So that's your few short prompt, that you give just more than one examples to the AI, and then it will work as the foundation model will be there. Then it will use to create the content. Okay. Now we will discuss further types of generative AI based on input. So based on data, if the input is image, output can be text, can be image, can be video. The video can be in the form of animation. In image, it can be super resolution, 720p or 1080p pixels. Image completion. Okay. In text, it will have image captioning, visual question answering, and image search. Okay. On the basis of data, here you will have, you're giving the input as a text, output can be text, can be image, can be audio, and can be your decisions like play games or whatever. Here we have discussed the text to speech or speech to text. So that is your input if you are giving the input text. And output image generation can be there, video generation can be there. And output, from input you are getting the output text also. That is also possible. Translational if you're giving some a big text to the AI, that the big paragraph, and you are saying that summarize it or give some questions to it, make a grammar correction to it. So that is also you can say performed by the generative AI based on the data. We are classifying on the basis of data. Okay. Now we have discussed this. Now one more thing which is not been included here. Okay, I think, let me check. Yeah, it is not included. So we'll discuss here. Very important one thing is that is your in the language model only, in the language section only we are discussing. That is your the role of temperature. Okay. So when you will open the Vertex AI is simply the AI which builds the machine learning, machine languages. So that is the Vertex AI. When you will open that, you can check also Vertex AI. You can search and you can check what I am discussing you with the basic introduction. So the one thing is there you have the opportunity, you have the option to adjust the temperature. So what is actually the role of temperature here? That suppose you have given some examples and you have given, suppose let's take one example to understand the role of temperature. I'm writing T and P temp. Okay. So suppose you gave that the your garden. Okay, garden is full of, and you gave that the probability of having flowers, which I'm writing by F, is 60%. That is 0.6. Probability of trees, 0.2, and goes, and here we have weeds. And the probability, suppose this is the example, very famous example, 0.01 you can take. Okay. So here what's there, garden is full of. Now how the AI will behave, or how the AI will tell, that you can see that the majority is flowers, so it must say flowers, but actually it will say flowers or it will say weeds or whatever it will say. That will depend on the temperature. What's the adjustment of temperature? How? If the temperature is made low, if the temperature is made low, then what happens? There will be less randomness. Okay, there will be your less randomness. I'm writing randomness by R. Less randomness. It means more predictability. Writing I am more P. That is predictability. So what you will get as output? Flowers, because it is more predictable. As you can see, anyone if you see that the more of the garden is with flowers, so I'll say that garden is full of flowers. So that will give at low temperature. So low temperature, the output will be, here output will be, that I'm writing by O, that will be F. Output will be flowers. This here, okay. Now if the temperature is high, if the temperature is high, then what happens? There will be more randomness. There will be more randomness. So when there will be more randomness to the system, okay, and you can see that sometimes your system gets heated also. That also then it also not behaves properly. So more randomness, less predictability. So less P. So here output will be what? Here output will be weeds. Okay, or the predictable, whatever you have predicted, that it will give you the random results, weeds mainly. So this is the role of temperature here, the low temperature and the high temperature. Okay, and now here the same things which we have discussed is written. The pre-training happens, large amount of data is there, billions of parameters are there, unsupervised learning is there, and then the formation of the your model is there. That statistical model, or you say foundation model, is prepared, then it can be used to perform the task whatever you want to perform. Okay, so that's your discussion here. Okay, and now we will discuss about process. and that process is called as the tuning. Okay, so we have discussed till now we have discussed the prompt, what is prompt, what is the prompt design. Okay, we have discussed mainly the prompt, we have discussed the prompt design, we have discussed you can say the whole procedure where the foundation model is there and all. The role of temperature we have also discussed, and now the last but not the least is the process of fine tuning. Okay, that is also made here after the, you can say, we have discussed the procedure of the for you can say behavior or how the AI behaves, and lastly we have to conclude with the topic that is fine tuning. In this particular course, the fine tuning is the last topic that we'll be discussing, and then I'll guide you. Okay, so that's all for today. So fine tuning, what is fine tuning? It is not given in this presentation, so I'll explain by myself. So what is fine tuning? Let's take a space here and we discuss fine tuning. So I'm discussing fine tuning, that is FT. So what actually happens? You have a big model. Suppose I'm denoting that model by this structure. It is not the crystal lattice. Okay, it is the model representation of a model. Like this, you can go. And suppose not suppose in the fine tuning only, what we do, we make a copy of it, we make a copy of it we make a copy of it, and then what we do, we retrain the model. So we copy the, what you say here, this particular model, we copy the model and we retrain it, and when we retrain it, then further the work that we discussed in prompt design happens, the foundation model and then the use of foundation model. So that's the fine tuning. It's a process to make you can say, if the, you can say, the programming or the model is very large, then this is not that effective, because for the large there will be high computation required, high efforts, high, you can say, even it will kill the time also. So it is not suitable. So not suitable for LLM, large language model. Okay. So for that, what we do, we will discuss a revised form of fine tuning we do, that is called parameterized fine tuning or parameterized effective tuning. So in that parameterized effective tuning, what we do in the, I'm explaining here only, parameterized effective tuning PET. In this, what we do, we have to just train a subset of model. Suppose here we have made the copy, then we have retrained it. But here in the parameterized, you can say training, what you have to do, you have to just take a subset of it. Suppose you are taking this subset. You have to take the subset of model and retrain it and retrain it properly. Okay. So that's the procedure here. Okay. So subset of model, and in the parameterized effective tuning, you have to just here in fine tuning you have taken the whole model. Here you have to just take a subset of the model, and this subset you can retrain it, and then it will further follow the process of the, you can say, whatever we have discussed in the prompt design. Okay. There also the prompt design explained the quality of input data determine the quality of output data. We have discussed how this forms the formation of the statistical model. Then this Gen AI Studio, it's facilitate, what's the advantage? It facilitate the exploration and customization of Gen AI models, offering pre-trained models, fine tuning. This we have discussed fine tuning, right? Okay. So deployment resources means the workful resources. So fine tuning we have discussed already. Okay, so that fine tuning tools here, it is explained in the one word, but we have discussed the whole procedure. That in fine tuning we just make a copy of the model, we retrain it, and then it is follow the procedure of prompt design. But in the more, because it that fine tuning is not or you can say good for the giant models, that is large language models. So for that, because it requires high computation and all, so for that we use the parameterized effective tuning. In that we just train a subset of model, and then it can be used to further in the work. Okay. Gen AI app builder, as I discussed, it is also used by app developers. So it allows the code free creation of Gen AI through a visual editor and drag drop interface. So it is also used for the app used by the app developer. Okay, so that's it, our discussion, and let me also check on this. Okay, let me check on this, that whether we are done or not. So as per the topics which we have to discuss, we have discussed the prompt, we have discussed the ML and LLM, and we have discussed the zero shot, one shot, and the few shot prompt. Role of temperature is also been discussed. Foundation model also, prompt design. Okay, and one more thing you may take here, that for prompt design you should be concise. You should perform one text at a one time, and you should be specific and well defined. And the fine tuning and the innovative way of fine tuning, that is parameterized effective tuning, that we have also discussed. And even the research are also going on in the section of PET, that is parameterized effective tuning. Okay, and obviously, as it was not possible to train the big models, large language models, so for that, actually, this particular method came, and it aims also to reduce the whatever challenges we faced in the fine tuning. Okay, so that's our today's session goal, and now I will guide you how you can apply for certification and how you can get that. That I'll also show you. Okay. So now I'll guide you, and by sharing the screen of the application that I used. Okay. Okay. I think the screen is shared now. Hopefully, fine. So the your app name is Simply Learn. Okay, like this here. I have also opened the interface of my account. So here you can go for the Introduction to Generative AI Studio, this course. Okay, there is two courses, Introduction to Generative AI and Introduction to Generative AI Studio. But you have to go to Introduction to Generative AI Studio. Okay, that's what I discussed with you. So here you can go to Introduction to Generative AI Studio, and here you have to click. You have to first create the account by login. You can log in through the email also, and through the different ways also. You can okay, you can use the different email or the password and all, whatever you are more familiar of it. So you can use that, and from that you can create the account. And after creating the account, you have to just go here, and you have to select this course. This is a free course, and you have to click on continue learning. So there maybe start learning, because it is completed, so it is in continue learning. And here what you will have the self learning. Okay, so you will have the self learning here,
Generative AI Studio and
like this. Okay, so this is in the 16-minute lecture, and first you will have this introduction to Gen AI Studio, lesson number one. 1.1 will be introduction, 1.2 will be introduction to Gen AI Studio, that I discussed, and then you will have this knowledge check. Here you have to take the quiz. Here you have to take the quiz, and that quiz, if you will make 70% correct, that is, here 5 questions are there, so you have to make 4 questions correct. If you will make 4 questions correct, then you will. And you have to also, you can say, attend this lecture also. So after attending my lecture, you can use it as a revision lecture also. My lecture is more detailed, and that lecture is only 15 minutes, so that is less detailed. You can use that a revision, and once you will use that a revision, then you can apply for the quiz also. You can apply this quiz, and you can you have to score at least, you have to make 4 questions correct out of 5, and all 5 are pretty easy if you have studied even my lecture also, or you can make all 5 correct. And after you will make that correct, after the 70% learning, more or less, their policy is there, and then you will get the certification. So in the certificate section here, uh, until and unless you have not completed the 70%, you will have just the you can say, oh, what happened here, what they are saying for a review. Okay, Once you have not completed 70%, then it will this will be locked certificate. But once you have completed, then it will be unlocked, and here you have to enter your desired name that you want in your certificate. So this name is non-changeable. First, the what you gave, that will be taken. There is no second chance for the certification. So you have to just put your desired name on the certificate, and you will get the completion certificate by the Google, which is powered by the Google Cloud, and that is by the Simply Learn skill app. Okay, I'll show you the certificate also, which I got here. And you can also, after you will get the certificate, you can also check on your you can say profile also. Here you will have the certificates, and here it's the certificate which I have it. I can show you the big picture also. So let me reshare my screen with you. Okay, let me reshare. Fine. So this is the certificate which I was seeing for you. So this will have your declaration of completion. This is not any achievement on an. It is the completion certificate that you have accomplished it, and you'll have the name. You have successfully completed this online course, Introduction to Generative AI Studio, and then here it is the certificate code, which is which you can verify also. It is verifiable, and here you will have the sign of the CEO, and this will be here the date. On the date you will be completing that date will also be there. I have completed on 12th June, and I'm taking your lecture on 13th June, so it's 12th June on my certificate. Okay, so that you can also gain. This is a way I as I promised you that I'll discuss with you the way how you can get the certificate. So this is the way how you can get the certificate, and this will add better to your skills and all. Okay, so that was all for today, and I think you enjoyed this session. This was quite different from what we have studied in the PCM on the or the academic side. It's a little more advanced side of the AI. Okay, so different genre. So that was today's lecture, and very soon we will plan for some more innovative lectures on it. Okay, on the other topic. Okay, so you can also check other courses of this particular Simply Learn. And first, your work will be to take the you can say you have to revise through that 16-minute lectures, and then you can apply for the quiz. Then you give the quiz. I'll not show you the answers of quiz. You have to give by yourself. The questions are pretty easy if you have completed the lecture. And once you are done with it, then you will get the certificate, and that will all for this particular you can say introduction to generative AI studio. Okay, so soon we'll bring the some more innovative courses and other courses too. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me in this session. Okay, and whatever you want to ask, you may ask here also, or you can check that particular also. Okay, and there's also one section of reference material that don't check that, because that will contain a big book of 50-60 pages of each topic. That is not needed here. You have to just be rely on this particular lecture and that particular truth for the revision purposes maybe. Okay, for first instant, if you are seeing that lecture, you have to see 3 to 4 times. Okay, because everything you have to cover, you have to prepare the notes. You should prepare the notes for it also. You should prepare the notes by using the revision lecture. You can prepare, there is no issue. Not using this, you can use the revision lecture also, that revision 16 lectures, and then you apply for the quiz and get the certificate. Okay, that was the whole procedure of getting the certificate. Okay, and be careful while writing the name, because that name will be a desired name, but that is only one time. If you have made any spelling mistake, then that will be only on certificate, that will not be changed. That is only one time. Okay, one time date. So that you have to do that way. Okay, so again, let's in this session, thank you so much for joining me in this session. In next session will be very soon. Okay, now I have taken this on Saturday, but on weekends I'm off.